We're now in the fleet maintenance section here at the Novi Police Department, joined by one of our senior mechanics, John Underhill. John's going to take us through and tell us a little bit about what goes on in here and the number of cars. How many cars do you actually service through here, John?
We, between the police department and City Hall, about 75 cars, 19 patrol cars, 16 detective vehicles, and 40-some building department cars, assessing, and so on for the city.
So you and your partner working in here, you guys do 40+ hours a week. It's certainly a task keeping all the marked cars up and running because of the $25,000 plus worth of equipment that actually goes into each and every one of them.
Yeah, there's laptop computers, video cameras, radars, all the lights.
You guys are continually involved too in the assessment. This year we took a look at what cars we're going to continue to utilize. There's been talk that Ford's going to get out of the police car business actually with the Crown Victoria, so you guys have been really involved in that research as well. Can you tell us a little bit about some of what we found with the Chevrolets and the Dodges and things like that?
Well, that we would have to change all of our shields and push bumpers, some of the equipment to leave the Fords, and the Impalas are front-wheel drive, and they just don't seem to have the longevity and hold up as well as the rear-wheel drive cars do, and so we thought we'd stay with those for now, see what the next generation police car brings.
And as they can see probably here that we have a few Harley-Davidson motorcycles, we have several mountain bikes that we use, and you and your partner also take and service those as well.
Yeah, we take care of those. We have two smart radar trailers that we take care of too, that they utilize around the city. And
what's the general lifespan of a police car here now?
it's about 26 months.
26 months with about 3,200 miles per car per month?
Roughly that, yes.
Yeah.
And they have the limit of 80,000 miles on them.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for taking some time to talk with us this morning, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're here in the exercise facility at the Novi Police Department, joined by Detective Sergeant Matt Conquest. And Matt's actually been very instrumental in putting a lot of this together. Matt, tell us about the importance of physical fitness and why it is that we have this section designated here.
As Chief Malloy stated, this is the fitness center of the police department. It's actually open to all city employees here within the city. There's probably not a day that doesn't go by that we don't have an officer or city employee come to the facility and use the equipment. We have a nice variety of cardiovascular equipment, freeway equipment, and obviously machine equipment. Importance of physical fitness is very important in law enforcement. Officers
Are thrust into situations?
Yes, our officers are thrust into situations to where they may have to run, they may have to control a resistive subject. So they need to keep themselves in shape, and obviously Chief Malloy emphasizes that, and it's what most of the officers here at the police department, they make that part of their daily routine.
Now I know at like between 5:30 and 7 o'clock in the morning, this is packed. And then between 3 o'clock in the afternoon and 7 o'clock at night, it's also packed again.
Yep, we have the variety of shifts, and we typically find that the officers will come to the police department and work out here in the facility prior to their shift. We have a shower room in each locker room, so the officers can basically clean themselves up prior to their tour of duty, but you'll generally will find people working out prior to their shift, and we actually have a few officers who will come here and use the facility on their days off, and obviously that works out well for them because it saves them on a gym membership. We've had a lot of compliments on the quality of our fitness center here as we get people visiting from other departments in other cities.
Great. Thanks for your time, Sergeant.
Thank you, sir.
We're here in the investigation section at the Novi Police Department, again joined by Detective Sergeant Conquest. Sergeant Conquest is actually the first line supervisor here in investigation and responsible for managing the day-to-day operation. Sarge, tell us a little bit about what goes on in here and the number of detectives and what it all that you all do in here.
The investigative section actually has 14 women and men assigned to this section. We have detectives ranging from our school resource officer, our juvenile officer, a mall detective, a court service officer who is responsible for the arraignment of prisoners, and he also plays a dual role. He's in charge of our property and evidence room. We have 4 detectives that are assigned to different districts throughout the city, and we also have detectives that are assigned to our surveillance and narcotics teams. Once again, 14 individuals, very hard-working individuals, and obviously the thing that we emphasize here in the investigative section is teamwork. Back in 2008, we investigated slightly over 3,300 cases, and we're on pace to investigate slightly under that number for 2009, which is indicative of the crime actually decreasing here in the city of Novi. And some of the cases that we investigate can range from simple assaults, damaged property, to even a more severe incident that we experienced back in October of 2008, to where we had a homicide, to where we do have an active warrant for the person responsible. He has fled the country, and we are working with Interpol to actually track that person down.
Outstanding. Also, we have assets assigned to other agencies and other teams. Tell the audience a little bit about those 3 individuals and what their responsibilities are.
We actually have 2 of our investigators assigned to SONIC, South Oakland County Narcotics Intelligence Consortium, and it's basically a mix of area police departments that their primary responsibility is surveillance for criminal activity, and we also have one that actually is involved in narcotics investigation. We have a detective that is assigned out to the Drug Enforcement Administration, who basically does high-end drug trafficking investigations, which has been very successful here at the police department.
And I know another one of your responsibilities is you are actually the current team commander for the West Oakland County Major Case Task Force. Tell a little bit about what you do in that role, and then what you do in your intelligence gathering role as well.
That task force actually involved as a result of a lot of surrounding jurisdictions aren't fortunate enough to have the manpower or the officer power that the Novi Police Department has. So when a major crime happens outside of our jurisdiction, we have an agreement with them that they can call us. A task force is assembled to assist them in investigating that crime. It's been activated probably a half dozen times over the last 10 years.
In any major case, the first 48 to 72 hours are so critical. That's why we dedicate all resources we can and help out our neighboring communities.
Without a doubt, Chief.
And what else has expanded from that in terms of the intelligence meetings that you now hold on a monthly basis?
We hold a monthly meeting with the area departments, and anybody's invited. And what we do is that basically law enforcement has evolved into intelligence-based policing, which means that we gather information and we disseminate it, not only to our own officers, but area jurisdictions, because crime has no boundaries or jurisdiction. It's very important to get the word out there on crime patterns, because a criminal doesn't know that our jurisdiction ends at Haggerty Road. So it's very important for us to communicate with Farmington Hills, Wixom, Walled Lake, and even departments throughout the state. One of the roles that I have taken on is basically publishing or getting out a daily intelligence bulletin, and what that does, it lets the officers within our own department, and a lot of times I send it out to surrounding jurisdictions to let them know what is going on here in the city of Novi, to inform them of what's going on, when's it going on, and how it's going on. And this basically gives the officers the tools to go out there and conduct their patrols and hopefully help us solve these crimes.
Great. And I know your clearance rate, the number of cases that we clear, mean major cases that we clear through arrest. The national average is about 19%, and your folks are usually around 38 to 40%.
Yep, we're very proud of the fact that the chief has always emphasized to us, and we practice the rule of relentless follow-up. And it's very important for us to basically leave no stone unturned. So when I assign out an investigation to one of the detectives, it's up to him or her to basically leave no stone unturned and make sure we have investigated every avenue to try to solve that crime.
Great. Thanks for your time, Sergeant.
Thank you, sir.